The Michigan State Spartans just proved everybody wrong. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron with my buddy Paul. We are the Big Ten guys. On the daily, pushing out Big Ten content, news, rumors, analysis, whatever the heck it is, Big Ten, we're talking about it right here. So don't miss out. Week 1 college football is almost done. Labor Day weekend's great. You get Sunday, you get Monday games. It's only just begun, so don't miss out. Michigan State, big win against the Western Michigan Broncos the other day, 23-6. A great performance, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, there's things that we can talk about that they need to work on. But specifically, what I want to talk about is the narrative for Michigan State, where everyone has said, listen, they get all the scraps when it comes to the transfer portal. Disrespectful. They're proving people wrong with Omari Kelly. Omari Kelly absolutely going out for the Spartans yesterday, and not yesterday, 2 days ago, and dominating for the Spartans when it came to receiving, playing wide receiver. And we already know Jonathan Smith said, hey, listen, our number 1 guy, Nick Marsh, number 2 guy, Omari Kelly. Now, a lot of people ripped on Omari Kelly in the Spartans picking up because he came from MTSU, apparently last time I got that wrong, Middle Tennessee State in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They were awful last year. They were rough. But the nice thing, again, the transfer portal is so interesting, but the nice thing about it is this. He was the star on the team, hands down, had a ton of potential. And he said, hey, I want out. Michigan State said, well, hey, we'll take a chance on you. And he comes in game 1 and dominates. You look at his stats specifically, 7 receptions, 75 yards, just averaging 10.7, his longest being 21. Again, Omari Kelly, Jonathan Smith was not hiding anything from anyone when he said that Marsh and Kelly were the 1 and 2. And then obviously McCray the opportunity to be that number 3. But we look at that and it just makes me laugh again because a lot of the Big Ten, a lot of these big time teams like Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, they always just laugh when they look at Michigan State recruiting, especially again the transfer portal, and say, "Listen, you're getting all these scraps when we're getting the true elites, quote unquote." Again, I think Omari Kelly is going to prove and continue to prove a lot of people wrong on Michigan State football, and I absolutely love to see it because again, Michigan State always takes on that mentality. Aiden Childs talked about it going into week 1. It's that chip on your shoulder. People doubt us. People don't believe in us, and that's fine. That's fine. You go ahead and think we're trash, and we're going to come out and we're going to prove you wrong. I love to see it. So Omari Kelly in Michigan State proving to everyone else that, hey, you got it wrong on this guy. You got it wrong on Michigan State. And I love to see it. And if you look specifically at the stats, I'm going to tell you this. Did Aiden Childs 100% impress me? No, he did not. He had some great moments and he had some rough moments. But again, we have to understand this is his second year starting. We got to trust the process and that he's going to be able to mellow out and be fine. Because again, his best, when you see his best, it's jaw dropping. You love to see it. He missed some passes that could have really blown this game out. And again, this game was never close. It was never close. And so again, Michigan State probably could have scored more. You connect on some of those deep passes that Childs just happened to miss. But again, this is game 1. This is the nice thing about scheduling quote unquote cupcake games early on in the season. You get some of these kinks out. You work on it moving forward. Now, next week will be a tough test against Boston College, but specifically sticking with offense. Nick Marsh had some great catches, especially that touchdown. He showed that he is still dominant. In my opinion, should be everyone's opinion, one of the best wide receivers in the Big Ten. I would argue one of the best wide receivers in the country going into his sophomore year. Love to see it. And I think you're only going to see more production from him and Marsh, especially as Childs starts honing in that finesse, especially on the deep ball. And I think we're going to be in for a fun offensive season this year for the Spartans. And again, a lot of you might say, Aaron, you were the one just talking about how Western Michigan isn't great. They're not. I'll tell you that they're not. But again, there should have never been a point in this game where you were like, "Oh yeah, Western's still in this game." I never thought that. Laugh at me all you want. Never thought that. New Michigan State had control this whole time. Now going from offense to defense, we really got to talk about this. The defense looked dominant. Dominant. A lot of great performances. Jordan Hall really stood out to me. He literally just looks like, obviously he is a grown man, but he looks like the type of guy where it's like you took an NFL linebacker and you brought him in and you said, all right, you're playing college football again. Here you go. It just electric. Thompson and Van Sumeren, Spencer. There was a lot of guys that really stood out to me today. That were not today, on Friday, that were just a ton of fun to watch. And again, it reminded me, and laugh at me all you want, but it reminded me of those Pat Narduzzi defenses of old. That you go back and watch the film. You might do it, you may not. But every year, every summer leading to Michigan State football, the first game, I always watch highlights of past seasons, especially the season they won the Rose Bowl, they won the Cotton Bowl, they made the playoff. Gosh, those defenses were so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. And it was the first time in a while I watched the Michigan State defense where I was like, all right, this reminds me of the good old days. So it was awesome to see. And you look more specifically too, if you hold a team to, under 100 yards rushing, that's impressive. You hold them under 29 rushing yards, incredibly impressive. And then passing yards, 188. There was some passes in there, in my opinion. I'm not going to say they're luck, but it was just kind of like, oh, okay, that was pretty good coverage by Michigan State, and they just couldn't capitalize, or they couldn't get the stop. And so, looking at it, again, I'm going to tell you, there was no point in this game I was like, oh, Western's going to come back. Didn't think that. I do think Michigan State botched its scoring opportunities. That's pretty obvious. They should have scored more. But again, all in all, I would tell you this was a fun game, great performance. Omari Kelly proving the haters wrong, baby. Michigan State proving the haters wrong. Heading into playing Boston College in East Lansing should be a fun game. But again, what of this game, what were you most excited to see? What made you most hopeful, I'll say, for the 2025-2026 season? I would tell you this. Yes, Omari Kelly was great, but the defense as a whole, it made me excited. It made me super pumped. Because I think defensively, it was a big issue, obviously last year and then under Mel Tucker. So what do you guys think? Comment below. And as well, I didn't even talk about Frazier. Frazier, great game. Always great to see a Spartan rush for 100 yards or more. You just love to see it. You love to see it. And again, it's not a bad thing when you look at, let me jump back to here, on that rushing attack, when you have Frazier, Tullis, and Tu Toliver that are running. So, Toliver running. And so again, I love it from Frazier, the Texas kid coming in, being recruited from the state of Texas. Love to see it. Mekhi Frazier. So what do you guys think? Comment below. What was your favorite thing about the game? What makes you most hopeful? Comment below. Would love to hear from you. We will talk more Spartan football, so don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, and hopefully we get another W for the green and white for the Spartan Dogs come this weekend against Boston College. We'll talk later. Peace.